Donald Trump standing firm today, saying there is zero chance he will quit the race for the White House. That comes amid a growing number of calls from Republican lawmakers for him to step aside. After a 2005 video surfaced of the presidential nominee making lewd comments about women. Let's bring in our panel to talk about it. Steve Hayes, a senior writer for the Weekly Standard. Dr. Gina Loudon is the host of America Trends with Dr. Gina. Tom Bevan is the Real Clear Politics co-founder and publisher, and Rick Grinnell is the former U.S. spokesman to the United Nations. All right, I want to start, guys, by playing Robert Jeffress. He is a very prominent pastor. He is on Trump's Faith Advisory Council. It sounds like evangelicals are going to stick together. Here's what Dr. Jeffress had to say.
It's probably true there are other things from his past that will come out as well. But I think what he can do is say, I'm ashamed of what I've said. It doesn't represent who I am, and I'm a changed person, and I will never exhibit this behavior from this point on.
Rick, I've heard from other evangelical leaders who say, listen, if our choices are him and Hillary, we've never been choosing him to be a church leader. We're voting for him as president of the United States. I know you think to those comments that he hasn't given a genuine enough apology yet. Do we see it tomorrow night?
Maybe, but I'm hoping that he does it before tomorrow night. I'm hoping that he has his moment where he can be authentic. I think Pastor Jeffress is right. There are evangelicals, Christians in general, that absolutely want to forgive him because they're looking at the choices between Hillary and Donald Trump. They want to go there, and I think Donald Trump has got to make it easier for them. He's got to show that he is really apologetic, that this was a moment 11 years ago, and that's never going to happen again, as Jeffress says.
Yeah, and he says that he has changed over time and over this campaign and become a different person. Here's a bit of what he tweeted out, today, one of the main ones, of course. The media and establishment want me out of the race so badly. All caps. I will never drop out of the race. Will never let my supporters down. Hashtag Make America Great Again. Tom, he's not going anywhere, but there's a lot of chatter about how you could get him off the ticket.
There's a lot. I mean, look, at this point, Donald Trump really only has two choices. When your campaign manager does not want to go on TV to defend you.
You're referring to Kellyanne Conway. Who's going to do some of the Sunday shows tomorrow. She's been replaced by Rudy Giuliani. We don't know why, but
Reince Priebus also backed out and is going to be Rudy Giuliani's the lone surrogate now. But Trump has two options. One is to sort of pull the plug, which he clearly intends not to do, and the other is to go to war and go to war against Bill, against Hillary, and against the Republican Party. And that seems to be where things are headed, given some of the indications of the things we've seen and read. And that is going to make for a very interesting debate tomorrow night and next 30 days leading to the election.
Absolutely will. All right, Dr. Gina, we've seen all kinds of different sides of him, but it does look like the fighter is the one that's going to be showing up and sticking around. He says he's not going anywhere. How does he find the nuance to work with holding on to the people that he had, where he still has a deficit of trying to win over people who have yet to make up their minds?
Well, I think that just being super honest and transparent, like Mr. Trump has been from the beginning. He never claimed to be a pastor. He never claimed to be a role model, right? He's admitted who he is from the beginning. So I think sticking with that course of action is the best for him. And, I think media perhaps needs to turn a little bit of attention, possibly, to Hillary Clinton and some of the things that she's done, that she hasn't apologized. There seems to be just a different media standard for the two candidates. And I think we also have to put this in perspective, because by tomorrow night, this isn't what we're going to be talking about. This will be old news. This is something that happened. And I also think there will be continued releases. Every single time Hillary Clinton knows another email dump is coming, they're going to release something like this. So just people are going to have to decide what it is they want, because this is a binary choice.
Well, and Steve, this is what we're hearing about all through the primaries, is that, listen, there are things that are going to be detrimental to Trump, that they're being held by major media outlets so they can use them in the general election. And we keep hearing from all different sources, there is more to come. How does he fight back?
Yeah, I mean, one of the producers of The Apprentice said that you think that what you've seen so far is bad. Wait until you see what's coming. And there are all sorts of rumors circulating today about what that might involve. There are apparently some comments that he made that have something to do with race. We don't know what's coming, but it's a good bet that there's something more that's coming. I just disagree respectfully with Dr. Gina. I can't imagine Trump going back to the old Trump or trying to be honest and transparent. I just don't think that's the way he's been at all throughout this entire campaign. He can barely get through a paragraph without saying something that's false. It's why he's had to be fact-checked so many times. And I understand that there's bias in fact-checking, but he says things that are false all the time. I don't think it's going to be enough for Donald Trump to try to remake himself at the debate tomorrow. I mean, I just don't understand how anybody could be giving him that advice. He is who he is. I think one of the reasons that this is likely to hurt him is that it's not a departure from what we've seen from Donald Trump over the years. It's consistent with not only comments that he's made throughout the campaign, but things that he wrote in his own books years ago when he talked about bagging married women or boasted about his sexual prowess.
Rick, there are plenty of people who think Hillary Clinton says things all the time that aren't true as well, but she's not getting fact-checked by the mainstream media the way that he is.
Totally. I mean, I look at just on the foreign policy side, which I try to fact check her all the time, constantly. I mean, just in this last debate, she talked specifically about China and Russia and her role in the Iran deal. Totally fabricated. Was not what happened. For 18 months, she didn't do anything, and she's now pretending like she was going around doing diplomatic meetings. That's flat out not true. But our media is not really that interested in fact-checking some of the policy stuff because we have an audio tape, a video of Donald Trump saying some outrageous things. So, again, I think the American people will absolutely forgive. But what they have to do is they have to see a contrite Donald Trump, and then they will forgive. This is a choice between two people, and they want, so many people want to choose the alternative to Hillary Clinton.
Agreed.
All right. Panel, stick around. We still got a whole lot more to talk about. Next up, we're going to talk to the panel about a story that's